everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to talk about marketing and AI agents. Now, what does it even mean for us? If you really think about AI agents are here and they are going to stay. This is just where we are at the moment. We can be an ostrich and put our head into the sand, but that's just what it is. This is the reality. And basically, AI agents are here for two major things that we are going to discuss today. One of them is how actually AI agents are taking over human discoverability. What does that mean? For example, how many of you have asked ChatGPT what to buy? Hands in the air, don't be shy. Yes, exactly. How many of you have asked ChatGPT compare some products? Exactly. And how many of you actually asked ChatGPT or any other AI product to buy it for me? Who was brave enough to give a credit card? No. Okay, I can read the room now. Okay, so this is one of the topics that we are going to discuss today. But the other one is that how AI agents actually helping humans when it comes to the marketing teams. Okay? So I have his wonderful panelists here. And without further ado, we are going to jump into the questions that we have prepared. So first, actually, I would like to really understand how the entire marketing funnel has changed. Has it even changed? And Arun, you volunteered for this question, so please share your insights. Did the marketing funnel change? How it has changed? How does it look right now?
Thank you for the question. I didn't realize putting up my hand would be the first to go, but it's okay. Take one for the team. Yeah, I think this is a question with two lanes to look at. I think most often we confuse AI and the impact of AI purely in terms of how your brand is getting discovered by AI agents. That's one side of the coin. It's equally important to look at the other side of the coin, which is how is AI redefining or rebuilding marketing through agents to serve humans better. So it's a marketing to agents and marketing with agents. And I don't know how much time we'll have to go into each of these dimensions, but very quickly, I think marketing to agents, which is a discoverability, I think it's obviously an invisibility problem, a discoverability problem. As far as funnel is concerned, I think we need to look at AI, is it going to replace your funnel? Definitely no, that's probably overselling here. Is it just a channel? Probably not. It's an underselling of the impact. So the truth, as always, is somewhere in between. Right? It's not a channel, it's bigger than a channel, but is it going to replace your funnel? Definitely not. So then what is it doing? I like to think of AI or agents as sort of forking the funnel into two distinct parts. There is a agent-mediated or a machine funnel, which is really a real-time matching of what's information out there. But there's also a human funnel, which is really about trust and brand and emotions and judgment and things like that. So there is a machine funnel and then there is an AI funnel, and each has a place, especially in discoverability versus middle of the funnel versus conversion. So I know I don't want to eat up into too much of time, so I will pause at that and then give others a chance.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, Charu, now we are talking about the Charu Seti, yes. We are talking about funnels, and so what do you think? I actually would like to dig a bit deeper into funnels, and I definitely agree that there are going to be like two ways of looking at this. But when it comes to different industries, what do you think, which industry is going to be the one that is jumping on the AI agent and discoverability, and which one is going to kind of like still follow the traditional funnel?
I think it is, I wouldn't classify by industry, but what I'm seeing right now is the organizations that are more agile to change and are adopting AI faster. So I'll give you an example of why that is happening. I work at OpenRouter. It is one API into 400 models, and we know that we're using different models, right? Claude, ChatGPT, Frontier Labs, OpenWays. So we are it's an AI native company. For someone like us that's built up AI native, from scratch, it's very easy to adopt AI, various different go-to-market engineering capabilities, and have a fully AI-enabled approach. However, because what is fully AI, right? Fully AI is an agent comes looking to your website and your website should be ready. I'm just talking content perspective. Agent comes looking at your website and your website is fully ready to not just show content, but to transact with the agent. And so just one aspect on that is that an agent comes to your website, the fact that it is able to reach you is infrastructure question, the fact that it's able to read you is an engineering question, the fact that it is able to verify you is a data question, and the fact that it is able to transact with you is a product question. So this is really, the whole company structure. It's not a marketing issue, it's not a CMO problem. So marketing apparently controls the outcome, but it's the product team and the engineering team who have to provide the input, and that's not in our control. So I would say the fastest change is happening in organizations like OpenRouter, where we are kind of building marketing, and not just marketing, product infrastructure from scratch to align to the, I would say, agentic economy, and agentic marketing is just one part of it.
Okay, thank you so much. So it's quite interesting when we thinking about that when you are a brand and you must be already taking into consideration the readability of the website. Now, but is there anything else, if you are a brand or the marketer at this moment, you could also pay attention to of course readability is important, but is there anything else that the brands can do, or everybody just should focus on making sure that their website is like super agent ready? I think that's the term that we are using. Or can the brands do something else? And I welcome Jacqueline to share your opinion about the brand and what brands should do and what does brand intelligence mean.
So I think if you think about the age we're living now, I think brands is actually way more important than before, right? If you think about just, let's say 10, 15 years ago, the way we do search, I actually think company website is a waste of time. Because the truth is, ask any younger new gen consumer, do they look at their website? No. When they want to buy any products, they ask their friends. This will be the same behavior with AI agents, right? If your brand can't be discovered by the AI agents, your brand is invisible. So the truth is, it's not about having the best website in the world, but you must make sure that your brand credibility must continue to evolve outside and inside. I think the biggest failure for most companies and brands today is because they can't adapt to the change. So companies who didn't even think about digital transformation in the last 10 years are falling behind. If you think about the simple way of how BlackBerry and Nokia have fallen off the earth, it's because of their innovation. Now, if you think about adapting in the AI age, Charu just mentioned really something quite significant. It's not about you being able to market in the right channel. You must prepare the whole organization. And I think once you have the so-called artificial intelligence, in this case, I mean, I used to think chatbot is bloody waste of time. Whenever you talk to chatbot in the bank, you just want to strangle the bank, right? And that's really what AI can do or not do. Now, if you don't train your AI agents well enough, it cannot do anything for you. It means any organization must prepare yourself to be able to actually manage the agents. An agent is not one, right? It can be multi-agents, it can be agents doing different stuff. It also means training your people to be able to use the tool. It also means being able to understand what consumers are doing. My son is 23, and I can tell you he has never looked at a single website of any company products that he buys. Instagram is probably the only channel, and Snapchat for him to look at, and understanding where products are, and TikTok, if you may, right? So if you think about things in the age of AI, companies have to understand this change, and we're still in the evolution of change. I don't think we're there yet. And you hear about all the companies about using up tokens and burning. I don't think agents will replace humans, but it's how we coexist with the new agents. So I think all companies will have two kinds of workforce in future. You will have your staff, which you train and actually manage them well, but you have your AI agents that you should also train and manage well to do the tasks that you well. And then you must know how to coexist together with the new organization. And that's what I call a living brand. Brands from now onwards will be living and breathing and continually learning itself. It's machine learning, which means you have to train the machine, teach the machine, and learn, and you have to evolve. Companies who can't adapt in the next 5 to 10 years from now, you will fail. And by 2030, when IBM Computing launched quantum computing, the speed of computing is even greater than today. And if you are not ready for quantum computing, you will be invisible and left behind. You'll be the Nokia of the past, or the Ericsson.
Yeah, thank you so much. I believe and very much agree with you when probably in like 1 or 2 months people are going to ask you or the founder how many people working at the company. The answer is going to be I have 20 human employees and 30 AI employees. This is so I definitely agree with that. Now let's talk about how do actually marketing organizations are going to achieve something like that? Because it sounds in a way easy. Yes, I hire 20 AI employees, but what do we really have to do, or how do we prepare all of these marketing organizations to be ready for the AI? What is the first thing we need to do? Do we have to build the foundation first, or the AI first? What are the first agents to build? And I would like to ask Naman, ready? I think you will be the best person to sort of answer this as the architecture person, so I would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks.
I think that's a very good question, and the answer can go on and on for 1 hour, 2 hour presentation. But we need to understand that the way we look at agents in today's world is going to evolve as well. Let's take a step back, there was a question about, we talked about research, how we do research. So chatbots and all, when they were invented or when they were kind of deployed, we have various LLMs that we interact with. But how much of it is kind of retained? How much of it is they are able to recall instantly? That's the infrastructure issue that we are looking at. But what is most crucial is how do you apply it? How do you make that decisioning around it? Now, for example, I'll cite a specific example. Air Canada deployed their chatbot that integrated with an LLM that would interact with their customers. And in a particular scenario, this particular bot or agent talked to the customer and gave away, invented a product on the go while it was chatting, it was learning, and it gave a refund to that particular customer while he was buying something. And then Air Canada went back and said that no, we cannot give you, blah, 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 and then, there was a lawsuit around it. But tribunal sided with the consumer because this chatbot is representing the company. It's not like somebody has bought it off the market or something like that. It's not my invention. So all the enterprises are going to be responsible how they are going to deploy it, and that kind of leads to the governance problem. How you're going to govern your agents when you have like 30 or 300 or 3,000 agents deployed to do a certain task. How are you going to go about it? And that's where you need to kind of have we call it three approaches. Human out of loop. There are certain decisions you don't need humans to take care of. Then you need human on the loop. You make the decision, but you keep humans informed. And then human in the loop. Whatever you do, you get confirmed or ratified by somebody in the governance or something of that sort. So I think this is where the entire agentic approach is heading, I believe, where we construct a strong governance around it. Doesn't matter, I think infrastructure, compute power, decisioning on the edge is going to be all very, very crucial and important. But the underlying foundation is how you're going to have your data governance, how your disjointed systems, different databases, different data structures are going to talk to each other, and how the agents are really going to understand when they talk to each other. Because it's going to be a two-way world. You're not going to sell to consumers or humans at the end of the day. Your agents are going to buy from another agent. So that's how I look at it, and I'll take a pause here.
Yes, definitely. The foundation is extremely important, the data governance. I even believe that you need to build first the brain, then the agents, because the brain will be the one that organizational knowledge, and then you build the agents. Now, what are the first agents to build? YJ, would you like to share? What do you think? How do you decide what are the first agents to build? How do you find true usefulness for an agent?
Okay, so I think for us at TRM, so we are a cybercrime investigations company. For us, very much in the marketing organization, we largely sell to B2B and also to governments as well. So I think when it comes to say building what's important, for us it's not the masses, right? It's about how do we reach that executive audience. So for us, a lot of the AI agents that we build can come through everything, like everything that we touch on an operational level. Just for example, right, like coming to this event, sourcing of this event, evaluation of this event, all the way to say vendor printing of these banners. This can all be done on AI. But when it comes to say meeting the humans, meeting the buyers, that's something that we always keep human in the loop, as Arun has mentioned. Naman. And that would be where we put human diligence, where we place human diligence for the AI process. Now when it comes to saying what to build and what to prioritize, a lot of the times we build it back to our objectives. So I think many of us here probably already have AI workflow involved, but what's important is for us to orchestrate. And on top of that, something that I like to do with my teams is to always have something called a context file. So a context file basically just crawls through all of the work that you guys do in your own companies, gives the AI the brain, and on top of that, allow them to help you make better decisions and have that feedback all the time when it runs. So I think when it says prioritization, it's always back to business objectives, right? And how marketing drives that. And with the AI flow, it just helps us to get there faster and in a much more efficient way.
Thank you so much. And then how does it work with the smaller brands? You are a founder, but the founders, so we know they are also CBOs and CMOs and CFOs and everything at the same time. So what do you feel like, what is really the workflow that you automated first? And then you can give us like an actual concrete example and whether it was a good decision or not. So this is also welcome to share. If anybody also after this, welcome to share like a sort of like a failure or something that was not the best decision. That could be also a good learning point for the people in the audience.
Good question, Nico. Automation, we started with automating the content, how we are sharing content on our social media. And initial steps were automating to Hootsuite. And that time we experimented various types of content, how we can automate it. And the results were okay, but what I missed was the engagement part. So that was the failure part, that those the content was shared, but the engagement was not the way it should have been. So things are changing, AI agents are there, and now we can do the automation by combining with email automation plus SEO automation plus content automation, and everything combined we can create a nice setup of marketing. But again, failure can happen, and where we are missing the branding part, where we are missing the story part. So we have to make sure that while we are doing automation, we are sharing the authentic stories and we are sharing the correct information so that it is reaching to the right crowd. So that education is very important, and then it will be more effective. So yeah, this is from my side.
Thank you so much. Actually about the AI generated content, I can also add a little bit. Because of course we've been doing content as Nas Daily the last 10 years, and when it comes to content specifically for social media, we actually still believe that it's good when you have a human. You have a human on camera, like a talent, either a host or somebody is narrating the story, and also like a human editor, because AI cannot do very great things with the editing skill for an AI agent is not there yet. But when it comes to the ads, actually we realized, especially meta ads, that they work really well with AI generated content. And for some reason people just don't care that it's AI generated versus a human is telling you buy my product. So like the AI GC is really something that we tested out with multiple clients, and it actually does work. Yeah. Okay, so we have another 5 minutes. If anybody would like to share, and don't be shy, if you felt like you implemented AI agents and you started something, you know, in this case, or like you spent a lot of money and then you are like, okay, this was actually a bad decision, welcome to share. So open the floor.
Maybe I'll just share one big idea. I've been building brands for the last 30 years. So they use Samsung, they use Apple as part of this process. I would say that one important thing for any organization would like to do is go back to what I call the body, mind, and soul. Number one, in the heart of the brand is the brand DNA that you must define right before you do anything. Because if you don't get that right, you can be amplifying nonsense, right? So body, mind, and soul, meaning the body, which is where we talk about the infrastructure of how you actually build the intelligence infrastructure for organization. Make sure you understand what that is and what is needed. The mind is where we talk about the AI brain and how you want to actually get it out. So the entire philosophy of how you actually want to train the mind of the AI must be there. The soul is where the human interaction will come in. Now, any brands who just rely on AI in the next century will fail. It has to be a human and machine coexisting to actually amplify the next future.
Thank you. I think there was quite a bit of mentions of AI brain governance. I think Naman spoke about governance. So I want to share a personal experience. So I run Growth Coach Asia. Essentially what we do is in very simple terms. We take tenure, experience and human judgment and package that into AI software. Very simple, right? So for example, recently we released a product called Anvilio. All it does is it takes GTM and revenue processes that you use to advise clients, package that as software, right? So in the building of that product, a few things stood out. So we spoke about the brain and how it's important to ensure that we create certain desirable behaviors and avoid undesirable behaviors. So if you think of building an AI agentic organization, you're actually trying to replicate a human organization. So when you build a human organization, one of the key things that you always look for is what is the organizational culture. So when you're replacing that with an agentic organization, it therefore naturally follows that you must also be thinking about what is the culture for the agentic organization. Nobody thinks of the agentic organization's culture because we are all in such a mad rush to try out the new tools, put out the latest agent out there. But I think it's time for us to take a pause and ask ourselves, we are putting together so many different agents. Each agent, if it's a single function agent, it's probably okay. But if you want to build an organization which has multiple agents, you got to find a way to create that organizational culture around these agents, which ensures that different agents behave coherently. You know, there are certain behaviors you want them to replicate consistently day in and day out, right? So I'll give you an example. So this GTM advisor, Anvilio, what it does is, for example, if you are a, let's say a CRO, and you're looking at, let's say, 3 weeks out into the quarter, your pipeline is only about 70%, and you're trying to figure out what can I do. If you go to a McKinsey consultant, so we started off with a persona of a McKinsey consultant and we built the whole agentic organization culture based on that persona and desirable behaviors and negative behaviors you want to avoid, stuff like that. Why is that important? If you go ask a McKinsey consultant, any reasonable consultant, no consultant will tell you your pipeline is bad, so go fire the CRO or go fire the VP of sales. No consultant will tell you this. But today an AI agent will do that if you don't put guardrails in place. So if you really want to build a good agentic organization with a good culture, these are the things you need to take care of. Build the governance. So when I was building Anvilio, my first step was not to try out tools and build an agent. It was to write a 26-page constitution. So you got to build a constitution which then becomes the defining framework for your agentic organization's culture. So I know we're going to run out of time very shortly. So I just want to leave this one thing I want to leave behind. It's easy to build an agent today. You have many tools. You don't need coding, no code tools are available there. But please pay attention to what is the culture you want to build. Write down the constitution first for that organization. make sure every agent you build adheres to that constitution, adheres to that behavioral pattern. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble.
Wow, beautiful. I think let's clap, guys. Beautiful sharing. We learned so much, and then I also just wanted to wrap up with that it's a lot to discuss, but really having that sort of foundation, what you just mentioned, Naman also mentioned, Jackson mentioned, I think everybody mentioned, that's something that I can take away. It is the most important, because everybody can build agent, but can you build a good agent, and how do you build a good agent that they already know so much about your company, so they go back to the brain, get all that information, because the brain is already trained and knows everything about your company, about your marketing organization, connected to your CRM and everything, and that's how you basically can bringing the culture in to really help your team, because you don't just build agents for the sake of building agents. So I hope that you learned something today. Thank you so much again, everyone. Thank you.
Ildiko, you will do the honors of presenting to YJ Wang for her contribution. This is a special way of saying thank you. Next we have Arun Kawale for his contribution. Charu Sethi. Naman Gupta. Jacqueline. Charu Mehrotra. And Fadiko.